It's all here, and they know what a lottery drafting tracks and super speedways can be. There is so much on the line here. It's time to bring the action at Daytona International Speedway. Under the lights, there is no better place to shine. Whose night will it be over the next 160 laps? Let's go here in Daytona. Best ever start at this track for the guy third down on the low line, Josh Berry, as Michael McDowell will lead this field into one. Now all the pre-race nerves can go. Now the drivers are dialed in and focused, and they can get to work at hand.
And now the cars are reaching top speed. Takes nearly a lap to get all the way to max speed. You see very organized 2 by 2. Everyone kind of playing nicely on newer tires. It wouldn't shock me if the bottom of the racetrack, near that yellow line, is the preferred lane.
Yeah, we saw an Xfinity race last night, a wreck early. I think these guys have paid attention to that. They're going to push and shove a little bit, Diff, but they're going to try to be smart about it. But this is a short stage. You're going to have to go. You're going to have to make some moves early.
It is short, only 35 laps, well within the capabilities of the fuel load, so no pit stops required. It's go for broke. Gamble as much as you want.
Austin Dillon trying to lead this third lane. He jumped up there, a lot of cars behind him. Interesting to see if that can work.
And if you're thinking at home, wouldn't it be a remarkable performance for Austin Dillon to grab a win here where he has won before and put all the controversy of Richmond behind you? Not alone. It's been a popular topic of conversation here in Florida this week. Look at Logano pushing McDowell on that low line.
I think some line management going on by these teammates on the front row, Steve. Trying to stay side by side, kind of bottling up the whole field. But now Logano gave a big push to McDowell, got him out in front.
The problem is if they play too much defense, that only aids that third lane led by Austin Dillon, that black and teal car. Not anymore. I believe that's the 6 of Brad Keselowski. Now the 9 of Chase Elliott. Everybody to the top. Ooh, Chase with the move back to the middle. Nice move by the 9 car.
Yeah, that was funny. Everybody wanted to be the first car on the top lane.
That's right aboard the Brestree Chevrolet for Austin Dillon.
I can't imagine that view for 2.5 hours.
The awesome roar of 40 NASCAR Cup Series cars here at the World Center of Racing. That bright green and white car on the outside, Todd Gilliland, the third generation racer. Awesome front row performance, running at the front of the pack with his teammate and trying to stay there door to door with Michael McDowell.
Blaney still leading that outside line. It's made a little bit of ground, Steve. Just a little bit. Now he's on the outside of the 9 car. Remember, Chase Elliott slid in front of him, so now he's alongside Chase. So right. Just a little bit every lap.
Yeah, and this is the concern of Daytona, right? Why does strategy and all that stuff matter? Because where are you going to go? Look at that, 200-mile-an-hour rush hour traffic, every lane full of cars.
Look at that high line. Austin Cindric in the bright yellow number 2. Brad Keselowski tucked in behind him, and then Austin Dillon. Daniel Suarez in the all-red Coca-Cola car. And that outside lane's got some momentum. Look at Keselowski pushing Cindric.
Eight Fords near the front of this pack. Only the 24 of William Byron, the lone Chevrolet, trying to get in the mix.
There's some separation here. McDowell has moved off that low line and opened it up for Joey Logano. Now moves back. Gilliland slots up, and here comes that high line again. Cindric being pushed continually by Keselowski and Dillon.
Keselowski is the most aggressive pusher in the Cup Series. He does not mind getting to your rear bumper and shoving you all the way down the straightaway.
Logano knew he had to come low. Josh Berry in the 4. And then here comes William Byron and Kyle Larson in the 5. Larson yet to notch up a top 5 here. And he said, you know what? I think it's soon. I think it's close. I'm getting better and better at these tracks. Berry on the inside of Logano. It's 3 wide with McDowell on the high line.
Logano's experience showed he wanted to go to the bottom, just didn't have the confidence because he wasn't clear. Being stuck in the middle was not optimal, but it was his only option.
35 laps in this opening stage as we check in with Jimmy Johnson. What do you see that you like so far?
I love seeing that third line come together. And one thing that the third line will try to look for is when the other teams in the other 2 lanes are saving fuel, they'll get word, and the guys will jump up in third lane, be able to run 100% throttle and work their way to the front. I thought that might have been taking place to start. Now it looks like they're just racing, and the third lane is pushing harder than anyone else.
I think that's great analysis about the third lane pushing. You talked about Brad and how aggressive he is. He's now in the middle. But you can kind of get a telltale from those flaps on the hood. When they get very, very close, they'll start to flap a little bit because the air pressure changed. Joey Logano, that second car in the middle, that bright yellow 22, his are the easiest to see. When he gets to the back bumper of the 6, you're going to see right here. Right there, right side keeps flapping open. Now the left side flaps open.
You can also see how much the car moves around that's being pushed. You have to do it correctly. You know, every race here, we see a guy try to push someone, they do it incorrectly, and it causes a wreck.
Marty, what you got on the 22?
Well, Dip, to Jimmy's point a moment ago, I've heard a couple of spotters say it's nice to see the third lane working. They really could not get that going in the Daytona 500 in February. For Joey Logano, Jeff, he made a very interesting point to me. The stage here in stage 1 is a little bit shorter. He feels like he can race hard in this stage, but in stage 2 and 3, he'll have to play strategy a little bit. He told me the information he gains now may be the most important all night long. Why is that the case, Jeff?
Yeah, I think that goes for the driver as well as the teams. How much fuel is this car burning? Who can I push? Because not every car is good at being pushed. Some cars don't drive well when they're being pushed. And some cars, when you're trying to push someone, your car doesn't drive well. So you've got to be able to be aggressive, stay in the throttle. Learning what changes you can make during this break is really important.
Josh Berry on that low line in the 4 and Brad Keselowski on the higher line at the front of this pack in the opening 10 laps of the Coke Zero Sugar 400.
Ella has